Welcome to another Triathlon podcast, the podcast that brings the electrifying world of triathlons right into your headphones. Journey into captivating conversations, share the excitement of race recaps, enjoy the humor only a triathlete would understand, and join us as we debunk myths and bring you the bare, thrilling truths of the triathlon world. So feel your heart pound, breathe in anticipation, and get ready to dive into the world of triathlon. This is another Triathlon podcast. Enjoy the ride.
Welcome to another Triathlon podcast brought to you by Mana Apparel, where we, as always, are going to have some fun chatting about everything going on in triathlon, the good, the bad, the ugly, and getting into some race recaps from this weekend because it definitely did not disappoint. But first, introduce, as always, my co-hosts Josh and Fede. We're going to chat about what's going on with us. And I think we have to start with Josh with a shiny new PR this weekend. How'd it go?
It was a wet one, but it was a good one, too. And I think anyone who's listened to the show before knows that I and us do not like the swim so much and tends to, if the swim doesn't go great, the rest of the day tends to not be as good as it should be. So this one was the opposite, and I just felt different. I had a good open water swim 2 days before and just felt really ready to go, and I could see the current a little bit. A lot of people said there was no current in the downriver swim, but for me, I just felt comfortable getting in. I was with my teammate, teammate Tara, and the two of us were just kind of chatting the whole way up to the time it was time to go. And got in the water, it just seemed like it was easy to swim and easy to sight, and it was a point-to-point swim. So next thing I know, I'm feeling the 500-meter buzzes, and I'm like, wow, this is going pretty well. And then getting out, I pulled up twice too early and forgot that you need to get like literally to the edge of the river before you can get up. It's like the deepest the river is. I could see the bottom the whole swim. But when you get to the edge at the exit, it's literally too deep. And so that cost me 10 seconds or whatever. But we had to crawl ourselves out of the mud, up the stairs, and got my first stripper experience. So that was awesome. Got out of my brand new DeBoer wetsuit, which was super fast. So I had almost an 8-minute PR from my Oceanside swim in April. And so getting out of the water, sub 35, my wife right there yelling how good the time was, and it just like, all right, now I got to race. Now I got to really push the bike. Now I really got to push the run. And the bike got hard. I mean, the elevation was close to 3,000 feet on the bike, but I had a good average speed going through the first 20 or so miles before the first big hill, and felt good about it. And my goal was to try and keep the average above 20 for as long as I could. And then as soon as we hit the hill, the rain started and the wind came, and we were out in the west, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a headwind for a while. So I battled some of that and dropped below 20, but I knew we had some downhills coming in, but the rain just kept getting harder. Did hit close to 50 miles an hour on one of the descents, following a few guys, and I figured they had a good line, and if they were going to go, I was going to see it before I needed it. And pushed it there and got back as far as I could and down as far as I could and just coasted. So it was, got in feeling good. I had a couple niggles on the bike where I had to shake it out on some of the climbs, but other than that, I was like, the run's going to be good, and had a good plan of sub 8 start, and then try and get it down to close to 7 minutes for the finish in the last 4.5 miles. And saw my parents and my daughter on the beginning of the run, and then my wife was out volunteering. She became a last-minute volunteer on the run course, and got to see her 3 times. And next thing I know, we find out that she's like super volunteer, and everyone on the course was like getting cheered on by her. And she's learned so much listening to the podcast and doing all her research, and knows the right things to say. And she got a lot of people through the race. We come to find out afterwards. So that was really cool. And got to see her 3 times. I got yelled at for not kissing her all 3 times, but I did stop the first one.
You got PRs you got here.
I had a PR. The first one was great. It was on an uphill. The next ones were on downhills. So yeah, it was a 2-loop course with a bunch of hills on the run, 700-800 feet of elevation there. But I felt good. on the run the whole way. My nutrition the whole way along was good. I killed all 3 bottles on the bike that I had. Didn't lose anything, and then just kept gelling it up on the run and grabbing both Gatorade and Mortal as much as I could, and got home with like a 6:30, 6:40 last mile or so, and finished with a almost 21-minute PR. So,
congratulations!
Yeah,
it was
awesome.
really huge. Felt really good. Saw my parents and my daughter at the finish line too, and my daughter immediately grabbed my finisher medal. And she hasn't been to a race, so that was really neat. That and then see a bunch of teammates and Mana kits out on the course, and then just other friends from the area, being a Massachusetts race. So the race was like an hour and a half from home. So really, really cool environment. Just kind of stunk for the weather. And then, of course, the people who had to deal with the worst of the rain on the bike then had to deal with the sun and about 75-degree weather at the finish as it decided to warm up again. But yeah, it was a great day and awesome family day, which don't always get to get in triathlon with the traveling that we do to race. So just a really special day, and I'm feeling it today and enjoying the day off. But we got some more races on the schedule.
Yeah, that's almost like the most satisfying part when you are kind of sore and achy afterwards, when you know you actually put it out there and didn't leave anything out on the course. But congratulations on the PR. That is absolutely huge and very, very exciting. Just goes to show the hard work you've been putting in and the consistency is absolutely paying off.
No, absolutely, the consistency. And then the voices. Like, the more I tell people, the more accountability I feel out there. And then that good swim led me to have that mindset that I can't let up on the bike. I can't let up because the bike and the run I know I can do, and I just crushed the swim for me. So I got to push on the bike and the run, and it got to the points where I just mentally had to talk myself through it, and hearing your voices in my head and hearing some of my other voices, that stuff helps me, and it's huge. So thank you.
Awesome. That's awesome. Sounds like a great day.
Yeah.
So good. How about you, Fede? What is going on in your world?
Hey guys, no, I'm just super excited with Josh's performance. I just texted him yesterday that that sub 5 is getting closer and closer, and the fact that he did that on a hilly course. I mean, if it was a flat course, there's no doubt we would be talking about a sub 5 70.3 right now. But yeah, it's coming. So I'm just I think what's up with me is that I'm really excited about you guys this weekend. I was, having serious FOMO with watching Josh's stories with his race, and then watching your stories about being up in San Fran at the T100. So yeah, nothing super exciting on my end. Just a lot of chipping away and grinding, and happy to be training consistently back again. And can't wait to see what this blog has in store for me. And just a happy camper.
So you're fully pain-free and like 100% to do whatever you want?
Yeah, pain-free, 100% free to do whatever I want. Just, of course, I cannot go out like tomorrow and go for like a 20-mile run, but I'm going to slowly progress towards that. But on the bike and on the swim, I'm free. I'm clear 100% to do pretty much everything.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, so super, super excited.
You're on the comeback. We can't wait to see you tearing it up again soon.
Yeah, I might switch it up and go like ITU or Super League. We'll see.
There you go. Love to see it.
What about you, Jenna?
Well, I mean, I think we don't know about Jenna's weekend in San Fran. VIP treatment and all the texts we got from her.
Some of which cannot be repeated here. Weekend, No, it was incredible to be over at the T100 in San Francisco. They're running it alongside Escape from Alcatraz. And first off, what a beautiful place. Like, San Francisco is really incredible. It's so cool to actually go and see the bridge and run along there. And it's so fun when a little area is taken over by triathletes. It was one of those cases where everyone was kind of in the same spot, and I didn't realize what a big industry event this would be. It was basically anyone and everyone involved in the triathlon industry from the industry perspective was down in San Francisco. So really fun to meet some new people, catch up with old friends from over the years, and actually got to meet, I think, most of the podcast sphere in San Francisco there. So it was really fun. Spent a lot of time with the Daily Tri guys there. They did some great videos and recaps, so go check that out. And then ran into Kyle Glass from Pro Tri News, and then met Jack Kelly from Triathlon Hour. It was just kind of fun to geek out a little bit on the behind the scenes triathlon podcast side of things. But man, that was a great race to watch and be a part of that energy and see it all go down. Like Josh mentioned, I was lucky enough to get a VIP pass there, so got a nice view from it. Got some good views and videos of that finish line, including that sprint finish, which was just so fun to have that energy of everyone just losing their minds as you got three people sprinting to the finish line, just going for it, which was absolutely incredible. But yeah, it was just a really fun weekend, geeking out on triathlon, talking about triathlon, and didn't get as much training as I wanted to get in because I was spending so much time talking about triathlon. I didn't do as much training for triathlon. That seems to be the way it is. But yeah, one of those times, just go have some fun.
Did you happen to see how crazy the local swimmers are there? Like,
oh my goodness.
Without wetsuits?
It was insane. I was down there with Ashley Gentle and stuff, and they're getting ready to swim. And you just see kids running around, swimming in the water there. The locals are swimming just in like Speedos, and you're just like,
Speedos.
oh, okay. It is just cold.
Yeah, World Triathlon has them in booties and
so funny. So watching a bunch of the pros are going for like their shakeout swims the day before and stuff. They're just like, what the is this?
and the locals laugh.
What am I doing here? No, it was really, really fun though. There's just something about that energy around a triathlon like that, an event like that, where you have the combination of the pro racing going on, and then you have all these amateur athletes gearing up to race the next day too. There was a very cool vibe there all weekend, and got to do some fun stuff. Like there was a Challenged Athlete Foundation event on the Thursday before the race, and that was really cool. You had basically a room full of legends. There was Alistair Brownlee, Ashley Gentle, and Jan Frodeno up on stage. And then Matt Dixon was doing the hosting duties, and then you had Bob Babbitt hanging out in the back, and Mark Allen just casually hanging out in the audience to watch the show. So it's a pretty interesting conversation, and just great to get some of those insights, because I think it was a little bit more of an intimate crowd and casual, relaxed situation with no cameras. Well, there was a camera, but not like one of the pre-race kind of press things. So the athletes actually gave some really interesting answers and opened up a fair bit. And Matt Dixon was definitely prodding out a few of those answers, which made it fun. And someone actually asked Jan Frodeno the Lionel Sanders question.
Oh, really?
So Brent from the Daily Tri there, he went for it. He asked Jan, so are you coaching Lionel? Jan pauses. He'll think through what he's going to say before he says anything. And basically said he's more along the lines of advising him. He's not going to be in there kind of looking at the training data every day, but he can bounce ideas off of and advise him about it. So kind of a PR kind of not really answer to what's going on there, but talking to a few other people, it sounds like he's going to be, just that kind of an advisor. He's not going to be in Lionel's training peaks every day analyzing all the data, but giving a little bit more direction, which, you know what, he had a good day in Oceanside, and he's actually gotten over to the wind tunnel and doing some testing to get things dialed in and shave his legs. So hopefully some good things to come from there.
I mean, to be fair, like, probably if there's one person in this whole entire world that could make Lionel listen and actually execute something, it's probably Jan. And because I reckon Lionel respects Jan that much that if Jan says something, Lionel's going to do it. So hopefully that advice relationship works out for both of them, because I know Jan will be. I don't think he's going to share all of his secrets, but he's going to help Lionel a ton. If Lionel lets himself, if he listens.
Well, and it's at a point too, like they're not going to be racing each other anymore.
Yeah.
So you gotta hope he'll be more open, give him some tips and direction, because it'd be so good. Because Lionel's getting older too, so there's not that many years left to get it done, and hopefully he'll get some good direction and we see something epic.
Awesome.
Yeah. No. Really incredible weekend. I'm wishing I was back there already. I just got off the plane about an hour and a half ago. So one of the harder parts, though, when you're down there spectating in person, you get to see a lot of cool things up close and personal, but you miss out a little bit on the rest of the race, all the kind of small details. So I'll have to have you guys fill me in a little bit of seeing the highlights, and at times there's more talking than looking at the race. So I will rely on you guys a little bit to let me know some of the things that went on during race day.
Sounds good.
So that's the question. I mean, now you've had the experience of watching and being at, what would your wish be if you could go to Vegas or go to London and see another one of these events? Is it to watch it and experience that aspect of it, or is this kind of like something now you want to do every time?
You know what? If I get the VIP access, then this would be the idea for it. Because at least they have the TV and the commentary and everything going at the same time, so you can still like watch it for a while and then go down to the course and see them in person, then go back up and watch that way. And especially this race where it was really cold and rainy the entire time, it was nice to be able to go inside and get some hot coffee. But
right. Once you go VIP, you don't go back.
Makes it pretty hard to know. No, there is some energy on course there that does make it fun to, like, you just end up having random conversations with people you've never met before as you all play armchair quarterback to the race going on in front of you. Yeah, there was a little talk of potentially a battle of the influencers at the Las Vegas event with some of the other podcasts crews.
Oh,
so, I mean, we have to look at some Vegas dates. We'll see what we can do there.
I mean, if we make it happen and the whole crew goes to Vegas, I mean, watch out, because I reckon our VO2 maxes combined are probably going to be, good enough to give Christian a run for his money.
There we go. We've all been doing the VO2 max work. We'll be ready to fire.
Yeah, 98 or something.
I'll be lagging behind since I've been racing all season. You guys are ramping up, and I'm like, all right, I'm leveled.
Oh yeah, I'm racing next weekend. I forgot about that. Yeah, haven't trained for the last 2 days because
because yeah.
Like I said, a lot more talking than training.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to go shake out the cobwebs and actually do some sort of multi-sport race on the weekend. And I haven't signed up for it yet, so I should probably do that too.
Good idea.
Yeah, it helps sometimes.
I know. My poor coach. I just tell my athletes, do as I do, do as I say, not as I do. I told him this, I was going to this event, and initially I was going to be doing a race this weekend that just passed. And he's like, wait, then, don't you have a race in Training Peaks? I'm like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to do that, but there's one in the other weekend, in the next weekend. So, like, okay. Oh, my poor coach. But he puts up with me and helps me get fast, so he's stuck with me.
I actually have a cool event. I don't have anything this weekend, thank God. But next weekend, I'm racing. But the next Monday or Tuesday, there's a local kickoff event for Super Tri here in Boston. So, kind of with that being the first race of the season, I got an invite from the Boston Triathlon team or the Boston Triathlon organization, who puts on the event that Super Tri is taking over, like they took over Escape for Alcatraz. So they're they're doing a kickoff event on the 19th. So I'll be seeing some of the coaches and the managers and things like that for that the new league. So I would imagine in the next 9 days we're going to find out who the other two teams are.
That would be awesome. Are they announcing all of the teams down there, or?
I mean, so we've got 2 of the 4, and we've got 9 days to go before this kickoff event. So my guess is we'll find out. I think the first 2 were announced within a week of each other. And I think Parker just messaged he would love to chat with us as well. And I know the podium team wants to talk too. So maybe we'll have a somewhat of a live podcast next week.
There we go.
Trying to figure out the logistics of doing a live podcast with the Super Tri managers.
That would be a blast.
Yeah.
Well, we had a little race go on this weekend, so we may as well roll into that. We had the T100 in San Francisco. I actually, even after being there all weekend, I do not know what to call this race. Is it T100 California, San Francisco, or Alcatraz? But anyways, it happened. So, Betty, why don't you run us down what happened this weekend?
Absolutely. Yeah, we had, like you said, the T100 escape from Alcatraz / San Francisco / God knows what race. And it was an epic race. Finally, we got a decent bike course so that the strong bikers could separate themselves from the bunch. And, it was a very, very exciting race. Let's start over the men's side, and it was a cold morning for both men and the women. They were, like Josh mentioned before, booties, neoprene hats, and the whole shebang. And that water is known for being cold and rigid. You can't see anything. I've done that race, and it's a bit scary because I remember receiving the athlete guide, and on the athlete guide it says, on the San Francisco Bay, there are at least 7 species of sharks. So that's something you don't want to read or have like a conscious knowledge about it.
There were so many. I don't know if it's is it sea lions or
sea lions.
Yeah, tons of those down there too, which I never would have given a second thought to. But didn't one of the athletes in was it Miami or Super League? Someone got bitten by one of them at one of the 100 events. Who was that? Oh, blank on who that was. But I never thought it was something that to fear in the open water. So now new fear unlocked.
Yep, new fear unlocked, 100%. But yeah, and it's usually it's a very fast swim because it's with the current, and it's a point-to-point swim, so it's a very, very, very cool swim. And it's an amazing experience. There wasn't a lot of separation from the guys. Like we saw Martin Van Riel, we saw Kyle Smith, Rico Vogan. The usual suspects that we would expect to be up there in the front. And it was very refreshing to see Rico, who's the current 70.3 world champ. Battling it out with the boys. Kyle Smith, who's obviously had an amazing season so far. And, I don't want to say, but, well, of course, friend of the podcast, Frederick Funk, was also there. And it was a masterclass from Martin Van Riel. I mean, this guy can swim, can bike, and can run. I think the Olympic distance is a little too short for him to showcase how strong he actually is over the 3 disciplines. Like, this guy can do it all, and it's amazing. It's amazing to watch him perform. He was on the front.
Uh-oh.
Lost you, Fed.
Hey, Fede, we can't hear you. Uh-oh.
Really lost him.
Really, really lost him.
You're gonna try and pop back in.
Yeah. His wonderful internet down in Mexico.
Unbelievable. I mean, these days, come on.
Right?
You gotta get him
Although,
Starlink or something.
oh my goodness, the Wi-Fi in my hotel was so bad that Instagram wouldn't work. And then where I was apparently was like a dead zone too, so I'd have to like leave my hotel room to try to do anything. So, hello.
Hello, I don't know what happened. It kicked me out.
Oh no. Yeah, you went silent for a while and then it kicked you out.
So, where was I?
It was
Talking about his bike.
yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want me to just pick it up from there?
Yeah. Just pick it up. I can edit together.
Awesome. Right. So, yeah, it was very cool to see Martin on the bike, taking it by the horns, and seeing guys like Kyle Smith as well following up, and Fred Funk. Just an amazing, amazing race. And but the most exciting part of this race was the run. I mean, I don't remember when was the last sprint finish over a T100 event, but we had what we wanted, and it was between Rico Bogan, former 70.3 world champ, Kyle Smith, and Martin Van Riel. And it was, I mean, I remember, I think it was Jan on the broadcast saying it, or Jack Kelly. I don't remember who it was, but it was like Rico, Kyle, and Martin, the new guard, the current guard, and the future. So it was amazing to see. And of course, we saw Martin's experience, not surging when he didn't needed to, just keeping his calm, and then just going when he knew he wanted to go, or when he needed to go. And so happy for Martin that he got the win. And Kyle Smith took second, Rico took third, and after the finish line, all of them collapsed at the finish line. And Jenna was taking pictures and video of the broadcast, and I remember messaging her, "Oh, nice, you captured Kyle's vomit," and it was this green, bright green, vomit that all of the gels and probably some sea algae or something. But yeah, that's peak.
I did not.
That's peak performance.
Until
You were just videoing and had no clue it was actually on the video.
you messaged me, and I went back and looked at it. I'm like, oh, he's right. You know what's even worse though is then I see Martin Van Riel come down and sit next to him in the vomit.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, that's not good.
Yeah.
The race definitely it made it interesting. Now, was there anyone else who saw Sam Long down 50 seconds who thought, oh yeah, he's going to run away?
Yeah,
it really, you got to wonder what's going through his head, that he's coming out of the water right after Alistair Brownlee, and just at the front of the pack, people are still in transition when he's coming into transition, which is not a case we've seen before with him. And a 14-minute swim time for the top guys. The boat was in a little bit closer too, but just absolutely insane. But that whole race, it was just switching up positions, and they're really pushing it. Some questionable distances between bikes. And then for a while, it looked like Sam and Alistair were back and forth on the bike. Alistair tried to pass, Sam would pick it up, and it was messy out there for a while, it seemed like.
Magnus was pushing huge power too, and crazy how he was getting rid of Sam on a lot of those descents, and then would finally get far enough away where he pushed in front of him even on the descents, but Sam would usually catch him. But it was that was impressive, and Sam's got to learn how to transition in these T100 races.
He does.
That penalty came back to bite him. I mean, I think he kind of knew it was a different ball game, and the mindset and the legs might have had a little bit more juice than what he said he had that day if he didn't have that penalty limit.
Yeah. And I guess it's just the excitement of coming out of the water with those guys. 'Cause that's such a basic mistakes that even an age group would be disqualified for, kind of thing. So if you guys didn't see, he didn't do up his helmet strap as he ran out on the bike, which is one of those things I tell my athletes. Rule number one: before you do anything else in transition, put on your helmet, clip it up. But you totally get it with all the adrenaline of the day. And then Alistair actually ended up getting a penalty as well. I don't know if they mentioned it on there, but for shoes outside of the box, because he put on shoes after the swim to do the run up to transition, because it's a pretty long transition in there. Wanted to be careful with his ankle. And his shoes that he brought into transition were outside the box, so he ended up getting a penalty as well. But Sam just like, man, those little things seem to keep getting him out there. But I totally thought he would just power away with it, just with the crazy bikes and runs he's had recently. To not hit the top three was surprising with only 50 seconds down on the swim.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said earlier, this was a biker's bike course. And by that, I don't mean that Sam is not a biker, because he is. Like, he's a specialist, he's an amazing time trialist, but this was more suited towards the road cyclist type of guy, the punchy climbs, the twists and turns. So we like a guy, bike handling, like a guy like Martin Van Riel with his skill level, and from Belgium, bike riding is second nature. So this course was made for him. And I probably, if this was a flat course and like a more traditional TT style course, Sam would have won 100%, because with that deficit, he would have been away. Him and Magnus would have been away from everyone. And I think on the run, Sam right now has a better run than Magnus. So but happy for Martin. I mean, I don't want to say who picked him on our little fantasy, but I just want to say that his name starts with F and ends with Edrico. So,
and I was 10 millimeters behind you. Looking on the ground.
Oh man.
But here's the other thing too. Like we talk about like the different courses, and all of these T100s have different courses, and that's one of the cool things about it. Well, wouldn't you think they would do a little bit more recon, because all three of the top three photo finish finishers didn't know there was grass before the blue carpet.
Yeah, they were all mentioning it. Like, oh no, I didn't know there was grass, but yeah.
And they all kind of tripped when it went from grass back to blue carpet too. And I think it was like Kyle tripped the most, it looked like, and that kind of cost him the race. And what else? We didn't even talk about this. Did you guys see what else cost Kyle the race? And I think this really did was when he went back in the aid station.
Oh yeah.
Man, that momentum, like, momentum kills you on a bike course, but it does on the run too, because that's a ton of time to go back and then get going again, back up to sub-6 pace. So, I mean,
if you guys didn't see it, he dropped off. He was at an aid station. There's kind of a littering zone where you can drop the cups, and it sounds like if you had wrappers, they had to go into the garbage can. If you had cups, they could be dropped within the littering zone. And I think he wasn't sure of what the rule was or not, so he dropped a cup. It looked like well within the littering zone, but it didn't go in the can, so he stopped to turn around to go back to not get that penalty. But turning on a dime like that when you're moving here like most of the way through a race is not fun on the legs.
I got a lot of nice shots on the run course, so I was hitting the can on all mine.
There we go. Yeah, I'm abysmal at that. Again, zero hand-eye coordination.
I think Jan was even trolling Kyle for this. He after what happened, because Kyle's confusion, of course, being low on glycogen and not knowing what they tell you and the rules and everything. I remember it was like the second lap or so. Jan was saying, "Well, Kyle is going to maintain the lead unless he decides to go back and pick up his trash and everyone else's trash." So I thought that was pretty funny.
See, and I love Jan in the commentary for stuff like that. Like, he just has no F to give at times. He'll say exactly what he's thinking. He's not like playing nice to everyone. He's not mean about anything, but
Yeah, no,
just doesn't hold, he just says it as it is and how he sees it. It's the best.
just all good banter. And but yeah, I'm pretty sure he texted Kyle at the moment because and when Kyle saw Jan's message that I want to see Kyle's reaction for that.
I think the whole finish production announcing was done awesome. Like, I mean, we're big sports fans, Freddie and I, especially with the pro major sports. That was like the end of an awesome NCAA March Madness game or a close Super Bowl. Like the way they handled that last 2K, 3K was really, really well done. And Jan just reminding people, like, I've done this before, and it's been since 2008, and this is still better than that. And that gives a mindset to what we've talked about before, too. Like, any sport fan could watch that and enjoy it, and you don't have to be a triathlete to enjoy that type of a finish.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And to be honest, I'm surprised it's taken so long to get to the point at one of these T100 races that we have a sprint finish. Maybe I'm hoping we'll see a little bit more of it now that people are kind of into the season and in form. And we have most of the races, a lot more of them will be showing up. In some cases, they have to. So hopefully we get some more of those. But that brings us to the women's race, which wasn't quite the same ending.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a sprint finish. It wasn't green vomit all over. It wasn't picking up trash for your teammates. We saw like the world domination that Taylor Neve is slowly but surely achieving. Like the men's swim, it was like, nothing special happened during the swim. We had the likes of Paula Finley, of course, Taylor Neve, Ash Gentle, Laura Phillip, the whole lot. And Imogen Simmons, who was like, I'm going to take this race from the get-go and see if I can create a gap or get some TV time. And she went up the front, and she was first out of the water. She was first onto the bike course, but it wasn't too long when Taylor passed her, like she was standing still on one punchy climb. It was like the cadence, like the thing that I want to take away from this is Taylor Neve's cadence. She looks like a cyclist now, so comfortable on the bike. Like, I don't know, just amazing, unbelievable, and incredible to watch. And then from then, she took the lead and never gave it back. And the gap kept increasing. And we saw a very, very solid performance by Kat Matthews. I believe she had a bit of a mechanical, like minor. She dropped her chain, and it was like an easy fix. Then hop on her bike again and started, catching people back again. And then she backed herself on the run. Imogen Simmons got passed by her, Laura Phillip, but it was like nonetheless a very brave effort by Imogen. So kudos to her. And we saw the likes of Paula Finley and Ash Gentle not making the top three, which for the first, that was amazing to see, especially for Ash, who has been so dominant on this race. But with the Olympics coming up, we're starting to see a more fit Taylor Neve. So it's going to be exciting for the summer games, and she has a bright future, and I know for a fact that these T100 races, she's just doing them for fun because she loves to push herself and see where's the limit.
Man,
she just loves to race. I mean, she's a competitor, she's an athlete, and she's a triathlon geek and just loves to race. And then we get to see her dad get interviewed. They're the same person. They have the same laugh. You know where she gets it from.
Yeah. It was just she is so incredibly dominant at this. Like, she can just put power out on the bike, and it's incredible. I heard one thing which should scare us all for her getting even better on the bike is apparently she just recently learned that you're supposed to brake before the apex of the corner, not in it, on some of these descents in there. So she levels up bike handling skills on top of that power. Like, she's just going to be unstoppable. Like, I'd love to see her racing Yeah, like Iron Man Nice when it's the world champs.
Yeah, that's 2 or 3 minutes. That's 2 or 3 minutes.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Just crazy. But no, so such a good race to see. And like crazy turnaround for Kat Matthews. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't end up being able, or has that DNF, turns around, gets her spot back for the T100 and bangs it out. Like, that was wicked to see. Talk about just mentally, physically switching or flipping the switch and getting it done. That was very fun to see. And you know what was crazy? There was a bunch of us were having beers at the hotel afterwards and stuff, and she's like skipping around the hotel lobby. I'm like,
this is where you take it easy on your calf, and anything else that could be fired up right now.
I'm like, I'm not moving that well after her race, so that was more impressive.
The lactic acid hadn't kicked in yet. It's like that last flush comes a little later.
Yeah. No, it was really great racing. Yeah, it sounds like Ash just didn't quite have the day, and she's somebody you expect, like I said, to be up there. But I really liked this because it was so different from the other races. Like most of these T100 races are more flatter courses, crazy hot temperatures. So it was fun to see how the dynamics in the race switched up by actually having a hilly, hard, challenging course in very cold weather. Like that would not have been pleasant on the bike in those temperatures with the rain and the mist.
Yeah, completely the extreme opposite of what they had been racing in.
Totally, yeah.
It makes you wonder, like, who's out there in the T100 contract world who didn't race, who's like, crap, should have been there. That would have been good for me, knowing the conditions and things like that. So, yeah, I thought it was an awesome weekend overall. It seems like the age group race went really well, and they had much better weather the next day afterwards, too. So, Alcatraz lives on. And yeah, I was jealous, definitely, for sure. And Taylor actually helped me on the descents, too, in the turns, because there were like 25 turns that we had to make. So that braking was definitely in the back of my head just because she had said it the day before. I was like, I know it, but thank you for that reminder.
Always good. You know what would have been good, though, from the like race broadcast side of it, would be if they switched the days. So have the age group race on the Saturday, have the pro race on the Sunday. You have a bunch of triathletes that are fans of triathlon in the area, and the day before their race, they're not going out at 6 a.m. in the freezing cold and wind to go spectate a race. But afterwards, grab a few beers, have a coffee and Bailey's, head out there and cheer your face off would be a lot easier to get people into.
That's a good point. I mean, you've got to accommodate for that. And that was an early start for the men. And then the woman was, like 6:40, something like that. So
it was crazy. They had to be there at the boat for like 4 a.m. and stuff. And it's just
Jesus. And the woman had to go out with the guys on the boat too, right?
Yeah.
So they were out there even longer. So
It's always the worst when you get up earlier than you have to for a race. You're like, I could still be in bed.
Yeah.
Transition closes when transition closes. It's like, doesn't matter if you're back of the pack swimmer or not. That's how my swim started at 6 and there was no pro field there. And I was like, wow, this is like crazy early.
But you know what though? I actually liked having, like, there's some things that need to be worked out, but I liked having the men's and women's at similar times, not at exactly the same time. Like that 45 minutes seemed to be decent. Maybe an hour would be good, and a couple handling a few things differently. Like at the finish line for quite a while, you're just getting the men's responses instead of seeing some of the women's run. But overall, as a broadcast package, like getting it all into 4 or 5 hours kind of thing instead of 8 or 9, I think they had last time with a big break in between and stuff. It just seemed like the energy was higher overall. Now, for this race, we had a men's race with lots going on and stuff, but sometimes the races turn out where you do have a Taylor nib on the women's side and same on the men's side where there's not a lot of position changes going on. So it was, as long as they kind of work out the balance a little bit more, I enjoyed that from what I saw.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. It's what we're used to in triathlon and on the Ironman side anyways, right? The men and the women race at the same time. So I think from a production standpoint, Ironman has shown it's capable and possible to do. I think when you've got that level of athletes, they're trying to give them both their time and airtime. So it certainly makes sense to do it either way, but it was nice to have it both out there. I think they were learning on the fly, like how to balance between the two. Taylor made it a little easier to do. until the men's race was over. But it did seem, and I think when I listened to the interview last week that Jack Kelly did with the production, the head of production for T100, they were talking about like San Francisco had a whole bunch of challenges in terms of limitations with cameras and where they could go.
Yeah.
And so it did seem like they lost a little touch on the bike. Like, because I think Jack was saying, oh, Imogen's gone. She's holding her lead on the bike. And next thing you know, they get a camera on Taylor passing her. It's like, nope, Imogen's not gone. There goes Taylor. Goodbye. So there's definitely some limitations to that. And there's going to be in any city, it's going to have different challenges what they're trying to do and not have helicopters in the air like you do at the Tour de France.
Yeah, and it sounds like at this point they're planning on separating out the men's and women's races entirely for the rest of the series, but who knows if something like that changes, if they get some feedback there. But even, I think I've mentioned it before, just from the commentary side, like by the end of an 8-9 hour day, the commentators even get tired and start saying the same things over and over again. So at least now there's lots going on. It was fresh. There was a lot more interaction. And yeah, I think it worked pretty well as long as they can work out that balance so you're not missing out parts of the women's race as well.
Yeah, I think it was like a permitting thing for San Francisco and a total like, budget line item thing where how much it would have been to block it off for another whatever many hours. And you still had the age group race as part of it that had to be built in.
Next day, yeah. No, absolutely. Overall, fun race to watch from all the perspectives in there. Surprisingly, though, we did have another race this weekend. I was about to move on from there because T100 kind of took over the social media racing stratosphere this weekend. But I believe we had another race in the Ironman Pro Series with Ironman Boulder 70.3. Benny, do you want to give us a quick rundown of what happened there?
Yeah, I'll give you a quick rundown. We had Boulder 70.3, and let's start with the girls this time. We had another nail biter between the winner Ellie Salthouse and second place from Denmark, Sif Benedict Madsen. Just like 30 seconds between these two girls, and just happy for Ellie. You know, Boulder is like her second home, and you could see her on her face, like the emotion. She was over the moon with the victory. And on third place, we had from Belgium, Valerie Bartholomew coming in third place, Jody Stinson in fourth. But yeah, just an uneventful race. And, you know, Boulder's beautiful, and it was perfect conditions for racing. And over the men's side, we had Trevor Foley, so former Lionel String partner, winning in 3:33.36, so blazing fast. We had Matt Hansen coming in second place in 3:36, and Sam Appleton, who is another guy that's like Boulder is his second home, in 3:38. We had Justin Metzler finishing in like 8th place. Matthew Sharp in 6th place. We had Tomas Rodriguez, a former Texas champion. He did not start. I don't know why. Yeah, definitely a cool race to watch, and it's on the bucket list. Maybe we need to make a trip to Boulder and make a longer training camp, and then finish up with the race because it looks like an amazing race.
It's beautiful to ride and train up there. I lived up in Denver and did a lot of time training up there for a couple years. That elevation, it was funny. People are responders or less so. I always suffered up there. Boulder would be a pretty race to do, but probably one of those ones that I will never race, even though living there for a couple years. I found that challenging. For Fede, for you, it'd be easy.
Yeah, it's probably gonna feel like sea level of being like, I don't know, 1,200 meters lower than Mexico City.
Man.
And even that, on top of that, you get the sun on the run course where it's like there's no hiding from it whatsoever on a nice day like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it looks like a beautiful race. Well, let's roll into our What the F and social media post of the weeks here. No shortage of stuff on social media, so Josh, this is probably a tougher one. What are you pulling up for us?
Yeah, it definitely was a tough one, down to the wire here. But I just have fun and smile every time I see Indy Lee on camera being interviewed, or a story goes up or a post goes up, and this weekend the two knuckleheads got to be together with her and Kat, and whenever they're together, it's kind of a gem of a moment. So the T100 put up something up with Indy. So if you go to Indy's page, follow Indy Lee because it's usually pretty funny content anyways, and her stories are pretty awesome. But they did a little bit of their pre-race documentary stuff on Kat and Indy, and it was a really cool video to check out. But yeah, those two are just a bunch of like nuts when they're together, and great training partners, and they're both having fun this season. So it's always fun to see, and check it out. Always fun content coming out of those two.
Wicked. Now, you always got to love that positivity. They definitely seem like they have a fun vibe back and forth, and just makes it fun to see that behind the scenes a little bit more, and that they don't take things too seriously all the time, even though they're trying to perform at elite levels.
They're like the Sam Long on the female side.
There we go.
Always having fun, which, I mean, that was another one. That was a close one. Like, Sam's out there cheering on the females coming in to finish, and he's like, he didn't have his best day. His wife and his kid are here, and he was out there cheering with his helmet on.
There you go. Love to see it.
Awesome.
Oh, well, that brings us to the what the F of the week, and that would be British Triathlon. Come on. Let us know already. So British Triathlon still has not announced their Olympic team. From some rumblings behind the scenes, it has been selected, but there are appeals and appeals going on basically. So I'm sure that means there are some not happy people on either side, but I just want to know. How about you guys? What do you think?
I'm right there with you. I mean, this was a no-brainer for our WTF this week. I mean, everyone else is done. Everyone else is ready. All the big names are there. We know who's going. And I mean, it's not like you have to prepare for your competition, but the triathlon world wants to know who's going to Paris.
Yeah.
And you've got some of the biggest names that people are waiting to hear from.
Yeah. I didn't get up the nerve to ask Alistair if he knew anything about Johnny in the Olympics.
What did he have to say about that?
Yeah, curious to see. So not an easy choice when you have so much talent over there and they're deciding which direction they go between the individual and the relay, and man, can't wait. So hopefully all of the appeals will come to an end soon so we can find out who will be racing there, as we have most of the major teams announced at this point. Either way, it's going to be an epic event at the Olympics, or so we hope.
Yeah.
Well, other than that, we have not a lot of racing coming up next weekend, but we do have a race coming up with Ironman Cairns. I never know how to say this one. Which, as you guys probably saw for social media posts, that Sam Long has decided that he's not going to go over to Cairns, that the T100 race is going to be his target, and he's going to give it all the time and attention it deserves, which makes me more excited to watch the T100 series, right? When the athletes are saying they're actually going all in to see what they can do for it and not just using it as a training day for Kona. But we do have a few pros racing over in Australia. Let's start with the women's side here. So the top names we have in there are Callie Simpson, Lottie Wilms, Hannah Berry, Laura Brandon, Radka Cottefeld, Rebecca Clark, Kate Gillespie-Jones, Fiona Moriarty, Ayueda, and a few others across there. So let's mix it up and start with Fede. Who do you think is going to take it out in Cairns?
Solid field. I'm gonna go ahead and pick, an athlete that is a very solid swim biker, and her run has been, improving throughout the years. I'm gonna go ahead and pick Hannah Berry.
Okay, I like it. And not too bad of travel over from New Zealand.
Yeah, no, I'm a bit biased because I'm friends with her husband, so I need to pick her. Yeah, and he's a good golfer, by the way. So shout out.
Key to Fede being a fan.
Yeah.
How about you, Josh? Who do you got for the women's side of this?
I'm gonna go. Let's see, with Lauren Brandon.
Lauren Brandon.
That's good. I'll go Lauren.
Awesome. She'll be out of the water there quick. I'm gonna go with Lottie Wilms. Let's see what she can do out there in Cairns. Curious to see how this one wraps up. And then on the men's side, got Braden Curry. Sam Long is no longer starting. Got Joe Skipper, Nick Thompson, Mike Phillips, Henrik Ghosh, Josh Amberger, Arnaud Guillot, Gregory Barnaby, Ben Hamilton, Tim Van Berkel, Matt Burton, Andrew Horsfeld Turner. Yeah, some of the top names in there. So we'll go around again with Fede. Who do you got for this one?
Let's go. Let's go, Sam Osborne.
Man, you're always pulling out the. Okay. Well, how about you, Josh? Who do you got for this?
So my question to you was Josh Amberger in San Francisco?
He was not. He stayed behind to prep for Cairns.
Let's go with Amberger. He has it on his list. His priorities are straight, that's for sure.
Yep.
Going after it.
And we don't know what Skipper's up to, so that's my hard part.
I mean, he really... Yeah, he hasn't had great races recently. He was on a streak with the Ironmans, but yeah, I'm going to go Skipper. Joe Skipper, he's going to turn around, have a great race out there, and power through.
Like our picks.
Mm-hmm. Keep it interesting in there. Now, it's going to be a good weekend of racing, and nice to just have one to kind of focus on a little bit. With the Pro Series, this one is in the Pro Series, right? Yeah. So with the Pro Series, at least there'll be some coverage, so we'll be able to follow along a little bit with the race, although the times may not be ideal. Oh, I guess evening for us. If it's Australian morning, that's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah. And that, anything else going on that you guys wanted to mention in the triathlon world?
Say kudos to Philip for jumping over to the Philippines and qualifying for Kona and finding that Ironman race before time runs out to qualify. We're getting near the end of qualification for 2024.
Yeah, it's wrapping up soon. Actually, that was a topic of discussion over the weekend too. Was Christian Blumenfeld, if he is going to attempt to qualify for Kona in a way other than just win the Olympics, which is his plan at the moment.
That's the plan A, B, C, D, all the way through Z.
Exactly, but he's running out of time to do a couple 70.3s or an Ironman to actually get that selection. So, I'd be curious to see what he does, or if Ironman pulls anything to get him a slot, because people will watch the race to see what he can do, even if he doesn't win the gold medal. Yep. But lots of questions on that Kona start line at the moment. But this one step closer to that Kona start line and that Ironman Pro Series as we see some of those spots start to shake out. And we have got a lot more racing ahead this summer and fall and winter. It's a long season.
Long season ahead. Yep.
Definitely.
And
as well.
We need to start like a savings account for the Vegas party eventually.
There we go.
When is Vegas?
October, the weekend before Kona, I believe.
Yeah, that's too close to Chicago Marathon for me, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the weekend after.
Might be.
Yeah, before or after, something like that, yeah.
I know, it's really close to Kona too. But either way, we'll have some fun talking triathlon, and we will be back next week. Have a great night, guys.
Have a good one.